All right, so Zendaya just got a bag, and I don't know if anybody actually cares, but if you were curious about what shoe she's actually wearing, this is it. Hey, what's going on everyone? My name's Chris. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel. Today we're actually taking our first detailed look, at least in video. We've done reviews on shoes before, but it's all on the website. They're performance reviews on their performance running stuff. This, on the other hand, is a casual shoe, but it's got a lot of their performance running features in it. And these guys are called the Cloudtilt. And I was reading through their product description. I was a little confused at first because I was like, whoa, there's all this stuff. You know what I mean? There's all these names. It reminds me of like when Nike would first come out with things like Shox or Zoom or Air, whatever it might be, Hexalite, DMX, all that stuff. That's Reebok. But either way, I was reading similar stuff like CloudTech Phase and Helion Superfoam and all of these other weird things. And I was like, what is all this? So yeah, I did a bunch of research. Now we're here. So let's go ahead and talk about them, shall we? So first things first, this brand right here, I don't want to say it's like super hyped as far as inside of the sneakerhead realm. If anything, this video is probably gonna bomb because sneakerheads are very like Nike focused, Nike Jordan focused, unless there's a collab, and then they'll dabble in whatever just happens to be out there. But On Running is a brand that's gained a lot of traction. So I was wondering, like, first off, are these worthy of the hype that they actually get? Like, if you're outside, you probably see at least 10 people. Well, that's if you run into 10 people, but you know what I mean? You probably see a lot of people wearing these types of shoes, and you're probably thinking to yourself, like, why? Like, what is the hype about? You know what I mean? So when I went to grab these, I got these locally at our Dick's Sporting Goods. This is not a plug. It's just literally where I bought them from. And when I walked in there, I was looking for a pair of these. I didn't realize that they had a whole activation display in their shoe section. So you know how you walk through Dick's, and at the very end, there's all the shoes on the back wall. Well, in the front, they have all of these like tables and things like that and display pieces. And On was like, literally looked like it took over their shoe section. And I'd asked them like, hey, what is this? You know what I mean? Like, is On really that popular where they deserve to have like full-on displays over Air Jordans and Nikes and whatever else is going on? And they were just like, well, they paid for it. I was like, whoa. You could do that? You know what I mean? So like, it was crazy. I know that you could pay for shelf space, but like, I didn't realize that they did it like that. You know what I'm saying? Especially with Dick's as a footwear retailer, because they're currently partnered with Nike, in case you didn't know, where your Nike Plus account, or I don't know if it's Nike Plus anymore, but just your Nike account and Dick's like is all one and the same. It's really weird. But either way, On's got a lot of money right now. They're throwing it at all kinds of people, Zendaya included. Roger Federer, before they actually swooped him up from Nike. A long time ago, we actually reviewed a pair of Foamposite Lows that were a tennis shoe, or at least it was the Foamposite turned into a tennis shoe. Apparently they were for him, but he had moved over here, and yeah, so they ended up having to scrap those shoes and they went straight to Ross. Really interesting. But either way, I was checking out a bunch of their models. A lot of them look too like runner, you know what I'm saying? Like for me, this was the only one that I saw where I was like, I guess I can kind of wear those. Like they don't look too weird. So again, this is the Cloudtilt model. This is my first introduction to this brand personally so far. Pretty impressed. Not overall, but in certain instances or certain aspects of the shoe, definitely. The outsole, probably not one of them. When we're talking about durability, they reduced a lot of that right here. Not only that, that's why the shoe feels so light in hand and on foot, because, well, there's not much rubber there. So you can see all of this giant sections where rubber is literally not there or non-existent. That's for weight reduction. It also saves on cost as well. So smart move as far as brand is concerned. Not really like the best move as far as durability or longevity, but this is not a performance shoe. Again, it's a lifestyle shoe, so they should last a decent amount of time. At least the rubber is in the high wear area, so the main section of the forefoot and the heel. It's missing in the middle. The rubber does feel durable, so I'll give it that, but on top of that, the pattern is kind of like an odd pattern. It's like it almost looks like chain link, but it doesn't move or anything, you know what I mean? So it should be fine. The midsole is where their technology truly comes from. So that's the thing where they were throwing out all these different names, and I was like, what is all this? Like, what does all this stuff mean? So all I really knew is that one, this looked like K-Swiss, the tubes. Two, it's not, even though it's similar. Three, it was originally called CloudTech, and now they got all kinds of weird names for it, so here we go. This model, when you look at the midsole, it says CloudTech Phase, and so that's a new computer engineered system of the cutouts that you see throughout the midsole. So all of those little holes in there, and that's where a lot of their midsole compression comes from. So a lot of the comfort, as well as some of the lightweight aspect, comes from the reduction of that material there. So even though the midsole is thick and chunky looking, a lot of it's removed, so it's literally not there. But this one is supposed to be mimicking like a wave, and so while you're in motion, everything compresses and moves in a way that it kind of like feels like it's going to propel you forward. That's at least what I got from it. Does it feel good? Yes, it does. Again, will this last? That's where that second set of the weird, you know, named things comes from, where the midsole itself is their Helion foam. That's the one thing where like I'm looking at their marketing for it, like they have a whole page for it and everything. So first off, hats off to them for even having landing pages with explanations of all their tech. Every brand should do that. But they explained it in a way that wasn't explained whatsoever. They said that it blends two foams or two types of foam together to make one durable foam that lasts a whole lot longer. So you'll probably see this Helion stuff on not just lifestyle models, but also their performance models. But they don't tell you what type of foam is in there. They don't even tell you how they made it, you know, more durable. So if you're talking about something like New Balance and their whole nitrogen foam, that's the stuff that makes it last longer, is the nitrogen pockets will last longer and not pop. So when you look at this stuff at a microscopic level, like if you were to cut it open and look at all the little air pockets inside the foam, the nitrogen stuff is supposed to last longer than traditional methods of making EVA. So what did they do here that makes Helion so good? Is it mixed with helium? Like, I don't think that's a durable gas, is it? Like, I don't think so. Is it mixed with PBAX or an eTPU? I'm not sure. It feels like EVA. It just feels very light and very fluffy. Not fluffy in the sense that it's soft, because it still has like dense properties. So again, they're at least doing what they're saying that they're doing, which is giving you a super soft, comfortable ride that's going to be durable. But what exactly is in this? That's what I'd like to know. That's the main thing. The sneaker nerd in me needs this information. But again, the brand is doing a good job at disclosing a lot of the information. So when you go on the landing page for this specific shoe, it will tell you all kinds of stuff, including what the materials are made out of, the heel to toe drop, which just happens to be 7 millimeters. And just in case you were wondering, this is their insole. This is the one thing that I'm definitely like, especially for the price, like this makes Adidas insoles look good. And if you know anything about Adidas insoles, those are complete pieces of shit. So this, can't even call that. It's like worse than it. You can take it out and replace it with anything else. Do you really need to on a casual shoe? That's really up to you. If you need arch support or you want torsion support and things like that, or more cushion, for whatever reason, you can pull it out there and do that. Or if you happen to wear an orthotic, you might want to do that as well. But yeah, it's just one of those things where I was just surprised, like, wow, that was cheap. Now the materials are pretty much recycled and everything, so they're doing their best job to be as open as possible about what's like being used in the product. So they say that it's made with at least 30% recycled material, but then they also said that it's made of 100% recycled polyester. So which of the two is it? I'm not sure. All I know is that the material itself feels similar to like t-shirts, like performance t-shirts and stuff, but it looks like a really tight knit or performance knit, like a jacquard. There is some stuff inside the shoe that is fairly standard, at least today, like this toe piece. There's like a big old like rand in there and everything. You can feel it. You know what I mean? You can see it. I don't love that, but it's not like in the way or anything like that. It just gives it its shape while there's no shoe tree and stuff like that, or a foot inside. One of the interesting things though is the lacing system. So this actually looks very similar to a lot of their running models, especially this base one where it looks like it V's down into the forefoot area for like lockdown and stability, but it's actually not a performance setup. So these laces already come tied, and they come tied in like little weird knots and stuff at the top, and they're bungee laces. So they're making a shoe that again is just like an easy entry, casual style shoe where you could take it on and off, no problem. Do I like that? I do, because I like shoes that have laces. I think that when shoes are laceless, they look funny. I know that a lot of people do like laceless shoes, which I'm not like trying to rip on anybody or anything like that. If you like that, cool. But I've always found that whenever laces aren't present, the shoes just kind of look like a sock. But when you put laces in there, then they look like shoes. Ta-da! Can unknot the knot if you didn't like that, and remove the laces completely, replace them with any other type of lace. So if you wanted to be able to tie your shoes or not tie your shoes or whatever, then you can. Now, as far as sizing is concerned, they do fit true to size. Whatever you typically wear, that is exactly what I would order. I will say that they are very comfortable. So in the overall sense of, is the comfort worth the hype? Then I would say yes. Is the visuals worth the hype? That's really up to you. But with all that being said, do we have a question of the day?
X-Men versus Justice League. Who you got?
Well, the Justice League has Batman and Superman, so I think the X-Men are kind of, even though they do have Professor X. Is Magneto part of the X-Men?
Sure.
Because he's technically a bad guy.
I know, but he's
on and off.
Yeah.
I would say that with the Omega level telepaths, they do have a chance. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, what if they took over the minds of Superman? Just him alone. Then you're screwed. You're using Superman as a puppet. He could just Homelander everybody. Now I don't know. I just gave myself a conundrum. Is that the thing? Like what would happen? What do you think?
I just think you made the X-Men bad guys by doing that.
Well, it's versus. It's not like
I know.
a high five match. Because every bad guy thinks that they're the good guy of their story.
I know.
And that wasn't part of the question. It was literally who wins. You know what I'm saying? So like if you're playing to win, I don't know if that necessarily means kill, but all I'm saying is that there's enough telepaths to take over at least Superman's mind. And then what are you gonna do? But what would you choose? Justice League versus X-Men, who wins? On top of that, do you own a pair of On shoes? If you do, what do you think about them? I'd really love to know your guys' thoughts, because this was something that I found to be interesting. It feels like a really good, really comfortable everyday shoe. I just wouldn't want to pay full price for it, that's all. But sound off below, let us know. Congratulations to Zendaya. She got more money, as if she needed it, you know, but hey, that's cool. But anyway, sound off below and let us know. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We will catch you guys on the next one. So until then, y'all have a good one.